Are you ready? I said, are you ready? A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
I wanted to say goodbye. It was dark outside. The roads were empty. There were no cars or people. It was very late. I must leave the town, I said to myself. I must go to the country. Perhaps I can work in a garden. Some hours later, morning came. People were going to work. There were some cars on the road. A bus came along. It stopped near me. I climbed onto it. On the bus, I fell asleep. Then somebody touched my arm. I woke up. "The bus stops here," a man said. "You must get off." I got off the bus and looked round. I was in a small village. The town was far away. I was hungry. I went to a cafe and sat down. I bought some bread and tea. Now I had very little money. I must find work, I thought. I spoke to the waiter. "Can you help me?" I asked him. "I don't know this place. I need work. I can work as a gardener. Who can give me a job?" The waiter thought for a moment. "There's Mrs. Jack," he said. "She's got a market garden. Perhaps she can help you." Mrs. Jack's market garden was 2 miles away. I was very tired, but I walked fast. The garden was on the side of a hill. There was a notice over the gate. Jack's garden. Fresh vegetables and fruit for sale. I stood at the gate and looked inside. I saw a long line of greenhouses and a field of fruit trees. There was a small house behind the field. I liked the place.
The picture sequence from the cinema has finished. You can look at it once more if you want.
A woman came out of the house. She saw me at the gate and came up to me. "Who are you?" she said. "What do you want?" "Can you give me a job?" I asked. "No work here," said the woman. She turned and walked away. Suddenly, she stopped and came back. "Wait a minute," she said. "We have a new greenhouse. I'll need some help. Come with me." I followed Mrs. Jack to the house. She asked me many questions about plants and gardening. I knew the answers. Old George was a good teacher. "I'll give you a job," said Mrs. Jack. "You can start today." She smiled for the first time. Mrs. Jack gave me a room in her house. I worked hard for her, and I loved the work. I liked the country. I liked the fresh air and the sunshine. I did not think about my father, but I often thought about George. Mrs. Jack was kind. She paid me well for my work and gave me good food. But I did not like her son Harry. He was a big man with thick glasses. He did not talk much or smile. He watched me all the time. His eyes followed me. One day I was working in the new greenhouse. I was watering the tomatoes. "I'm safe here," I thought to myself. "I'm far away from my father and his friend." I heard somebody behind me. I turned round. It was Harry. He took my hand and smiled at me. "I like you," he said. "You're a nice girl." I pushed Harry away. "Go away," I said. "Don't touch me. I hate men. You're all the same. You drink and fight and break things. Leave me alone." I ran out of the greenhouse. I wanted to be alone. After that day, Harry did not look at me. He did not speak to me. I was glad. One day I had an idea. I need my own little garden, I thought. I'll grow some flowers. Then I will forget about Father and Harry. I'll make something beautiful. There was a small piece of ground near the house. I pulled out the weeds and dug the earth. I had George's packet of flower seeds. I planted them in my new garden and watched them grow. My new garden grew well. The flowers had beautiful colours. They smelt sweet. One day, Mrs. Jack visited my garden. "Look, Mrs. Jack," I said, "flowers grow well here. Why don't we grow some in the market garden? You sell fruit and vegetables. We can sell flowers too. You can make more money." "That's a good idea," Mrs. Jack said. "It's your idea, and you can do the work. But where will you sell the flowers? There's no flower shop here." I remembered the flower shop in the city. It was near my father's flat. I bought my